So we're joined all the way from New Orleans, Louisiana, by Xavier Rush, former Terry Bulldog, former Tulane Green Wave, former New Orleans Saint Philadelphia Eagle, owner of XR Elite. We thank you so much for taking some time for us today. This is our entrepreneurship class at Velma Jackson High School. I've got a room full here with me of all young men, and we're recording this for all of our friends in Madison County Schools, Madison Central, Germantown High School, Ridgeland High School, the Academic Options Center, and our YouTube channel. So we thank you so much for taking some time for us today.
No, thank you for having me. This is an honor and a privilege always to speak to young men like myself, speak to the youth in general, and to be able to just give back and with knowledge and words and experiences.
Absolutely. Now, we'll get into XR Elite and what all you do because you're doing some really great stuff there in New Orleans. But just take us back. You're born in Oklahoma, went to Terry High School, and then you ran track and played football at Tulane University and got a degree in neuroscience. So, take us through your high school experience and then in college, having those academic standards while playing Division I sports.
Take it back. I was born in Oklahoma, but really don't remember much about it. I was there really young. My parents moved a lot. My mom worked for NASA in the education department, so she went to different colleges and implemented STEM programs and ERCs and things like that. But came to Jackson, Byram area in fifth grade. So Jackson, Mississippi is my home. This where I claim. This where I grew up at. And just my parents were a big part of a lot of my success and my mental makeup, and my mindset because I was very, very good at all sports. Since I was younger, I've always played with older individuals when it came to sports. I always was able to compete and most of the time win. And that was my love, watching sports, learning about sports, dissecting sports, and playing it. But my mom knew that, so my consequence was my only thing I had to do was I had to make all A's. If I made a B, I couldn't play. That was what she told me. And I took my mom serious. I felt like she never lied to me. But when I look back at it now, do I think she would have maybe not played? I don't think so, but I never wanted to take that chance. So in elementary school and middle school, it was always all A's, all A's, all A's. And then by the time I was doing so long, by the time I got to high school, like I tell a lot of my clients and a lot of young people I talk to today, how you do one thing is how you do everything. So I end up not wanting to just make all A's. I wanted to be the best. So if one of my classmates makes a 96, I want to make a 98. If their average is a 90 or 98, I want my average to be a 99 or 100. I'm trying to be perfect. It wasn't the fact of, oh, I'm better than this person. It was the fact of I can do better, and that mindset really correlated to all my athletics. So in high school, I played all three sports. I played basketball, baseball, and football. I was all district in all of them. I got accolades in all of them. I was recruited in all of my sports as well. And I decided to go play. Actually, I decided to play football and baseball at Tulane, but unfortunately, they had a coaching change on the baseball team, so I didn't. And the roster was full the whole time I was there, so that's what made me just get into track. And the reason I did that is because I was always busy. My parents always had me in certain activities. They made me. My mom made me be in the National Honor Society, made me be in the Beta Club, made
Wow.
me join these things because. And I learned at a young age, as an adult now, the most important thing is your network. You know what I mean? So not knowing then that I was obtaining different skills of being able to converse and be in different rooms with a variety of different people, to be able to communicate, be able to understand how they think, where they come from, different social economic backgrounds, different um, cultural backgrounds, different thought processes, but being able to work any room that I was able to work, from National Honor Society to French Club to Not Here Club to the football, basketball, baseball team to all these things, and being able to travel and see people at these different conventions and being able to working with one. So that was great, and that was what allowed me to want to be in the upper echelons of like just education wise And sports wise, because my goal was always to play professional sports, but I knew that I needed to, to do that, to have even opportunity. Mom didn't want to take me out, was to make sure I get all A's. So that's really what got me to that point. And then when I got to Tulane, I picked Tulane because great educational school, um, D1 sports program, and they had your names on the back of the jersey. That's really what I wanted at the time. But quick story how I got there, my recruiting process was like really bad. Like it was not a great experience. A lot of people, oh, I love the recruiting process. To me, it wasn't because I committed to Vanderbilt before initially verbally committed to Vanderbilt the summer before my senior year. And I was getting and after I did, I was getting recruited by Notre Dame, Arkansas, LSU was looking things like that. And then they asked me, you sure you want to go to Vanderbilt? Vanderbilt's not, not on a football school. You can come here and da da da. But Vanderbilt was my dream school. Like since middle school, I was like, I want to go there. Good city. It's SEC ball. The education is top tier. That's where I want to go. So that summer, right after that season, the head coach decided to step down and retire. That's when James Franklin came in. That was James Franklin first year. And maybe I want to say 2.5 to 3 weeks before signing day, I called the recruit coordinator because I haven't heard anything from him since everything went down and everything. So I called him, hey, how everything going? I just want to check to make sure everything's still good. Oh yeah, X, we're just about to call you. It's 10 p.m. on a Wednesday. I'll never forget. Oh yeah, we just got out of meetings. We decided that you're no longer what we're looking for. And this is like after I've told all these other schools, the Oregons, the Arkansas, all these schools that I'm good. So like that was a heartbreaker, and then trying to reach back out and let these schools know that I'm available. But now they want me to be a preferred walk-on, and I really want to try to live that type of life. Like I don't work too hard. I feel like my skill. I put my skills on a certain level where I don't feel like I should have to go down that road. That's what my mindset. So I'm like, no, I'm cool. So shout out to my dad. He from that day on, he made an excerpt. He got my highlight tape off YouTube. Made a paragraph excerpt, basically what I just told you I did in school. Paragraph, my GPA, my ACT, everything. Send it to every college head coach, position coach, and recruiting coordinator in America. D1, D1 AA school in America, and probably a week or so before signing day, about a week and a half before signing day, Tulane ended up hitting me up. So at this point, the only school that's really recruiting me now is Harvard. Harvard wanted me to come play. They have a good football program, but they don't give full athletic scholarships. They only give financial aid, things like that. And my whole point was I'm trying to play ball to pay for school. I'm not trying to be in debt. I'm not trying to come out of pocket. I'm not trying to make the parents come out of pocket because I have two siblings. So they end up. So Tulane reaches out. They like what they see. They offer me over the phone. So I give them a verbal commitment. So they was like, well, this is on like a Sunday evening. So they was like, we'll come down there, grab you on Friday. We'll come down there come up here for a visit, and then we'll go from there. I'm like, all right, cool. Another Wednesday comes. I'm gonna hit the basketball practice. I get a call from the receiver coach. He was like, "What's up, X? I'm calling. Got some bad news. The one scholarship we had left for you, we had to give it to a local kid, so we no longer have your scholarship. So, but we still want you to come on and visit." And I'm like, "Why do it like now? This is 17, 18-year-old me getting them. I'm like, why I gotta go? Why I'm going if you don't have anything for me? You know what I'm saying?" And my dad talked me into still going. You know what I mean? So that day, I called my parents, told them I'm driving to basketball practice crying. You know what I mean? And it was like, just come, we're gonna figure it out. So my dad talked me into still going. Went, had a good time. So if any athletes in there, if you don't know, when you go on your recruiting visit, you go to the coaches dinner on Friday, you hang out with the players, you do this Saturday, you come, they give you the tour of everything. Saturday night you hang out with the players, and then Sunday morning you come and talk to the head coach. Sunday morning come talk to the head coach who's asking me questions, asking me how I like the team, asking me how I like the campus. And then He was like, oh, so do you want to, would you like to come here? And then I was like, if I could, I would. He was like, so he talked a little bit more. Then he was like, so would you like to come here? I said, if I could, I would. So then he asked me again. I'm getting frustrated. I'm like, bro, I said, if I could, I would. Y'all got no money from me, so why are you asking me this? He was like, I'm asking because that morning they had a guy that was, getting in trouble, things like that. He was supposed to come to a meeting at 9 a.m. with the coach. He missed his meeting. That was his last strike. Kicked him off the team. So I was on a visit with another guy. He said, I brought you in first because I have this scholarship. If you want it, it's yours. If
Wow.
not, I'm gonna give it to the guy outside. I said, yeah, I want it. And the crazy thing is, it was on my dad's birthday.
Wow.
So that's how I got to Tulane. And I tell people, as long as you're doing what you're supposed to do, like you only can control what you can control, right? As long as you're controlling your controllables to the best of your ability, what's for you will never pass. However, if you deep down inside know you're not controlling or doing what you have control to do, and that's the aspect of studying. That's the aspect of working hard, working out, trying to be the best student of whatever craft you are. If you're not doing that, then you can't blame anybody else for not being successful. But if you are doing that, whatever you're supposed to obtain, you will.
Yeah, and I wanted to hit on briefly because we have a few athletes in here, and all of
Right.
them say, I want to play here, I want to play here," and that's great. We'll support them in that. But I think it's important to understand, first of all, especially Division I football, but even Division II junior college football, you're looking at a commitment that turns into a full-time job. It's not something you can't skip practice when you want to. You can't say you're tired. You can't just talk to coaches any kind of way. You have everybody there as a dog. Everybody there is trying to get to the next level. Everybody there is trying to keep their spot. So I mean, high school sports are great. We support all of our high school athletes, but if they have dreams of playing on that next level, they're going to have to go in knowing they have to have that level of commitment on top of being a full time student with academic commitments.
For sure. You have to look at it like that. And like you said, everybody is a dog. You feel what I'm saying? Of course, you have to believe you're a dog, but you gotta understand you are the man, like you say you're at Velma Jackson. If you're the man at Velma Jackson, this guy that you going to college with was the man or better, a bigger man than you at their school. You feel what I'm saying? Now you gotta come with a chip on your shoulder, knowing that you're not gonna be given anything. And the game of sports in general, but the game of football is a microcosmic of life. You have to deep dive into your craft to be successful. You have to understand how to communicate properly with individuals. You have to understand how to work with people that's not from the same place you're from. You have to understand a respect of a hierarchy in certain instances, no matter if you're working as an employer or you're an employee or you're an entrepreneur or you're just, on the job. Either way it goes, you have to be able to communicate, be respectful, and also do your job. Understand doing your job, what you're good at the highest, at your highest potential. Like I said, control what you can control. Then that's when you're successful, and that means getting up for practice, being on time, not if you not being uh, not walking into meetings right when the meetings start, being prepared, writing your notes down because you feel like, oh, I got to write notes down in class. If you go to the NFL and they don't see you writing down in meetings and you're not reminding yourself, let you mess up a little bit. You're cut. You're going home. You have no job. You're fired. So it's all these things you feel like is not that big of a deal. It is. Definitely if you want to get to a level like that, like my coach would tell me, it's never too serious. That's a quote. It's never too serious because what that means is if I know how to help you get to that pinnacle point of where you want to get to, no matter what I tell you to do, I can go tell you to go. It's go 3 steps outside, take a left 3 steps. It's gonna be some bird doodle on the bench. I need you to put your right finger in there for 5 seconds, and you're gonna get this. Like you're gonna be like, oh, that's not that serious. But if I have told 10 people before you to do that and 10 of them in the league, and you tell me it's not that serious, I mean that's not what you really want to do. You know what I mean? It's an over exaggeration, but it's that type of mindset you have to not want to not let anything get in your way of being successful and being the best you can be.
Yeah, and I know your senior year you had a knee injury prior to the NFL draft, and you had a stint with the Philadelphia Eagles, a stint with the New Orleans Saints, and a stint with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. But I've heard 1,000 kids tell me, I'm just going to go to the NFL and be rich. And
Mhm.
for every Tom Brady and every Drew Brees, every um every Patrick Mahomes, there's literally 10,000 regular Joes that are just fighting and scraping just to keep a roster spot. There's only 53 spots on the NFL roster. It is not just something you just show up and do. And then we talked about the commitment to college. It's even more so in the NFL because before you came on, one of them laughed, "Well, why did you stop playing football?" I'm like, it don't matter what he wanted. The teams tell you when you stop. So talk about that. Talk about that level of expectation in the NFL for anybody that thinks they want to be a professional athlete.
Man, the expectation is high. The NFL, NBA, anything, but definitely the NFL. It's the only occupation that hires more people than they have spots for. 2 weeks ago, when the end of the preseason, fellas, if y'all watched the preseason, after that next Tuesday, over 290 individuals are jobless. Those 290 people are dogs. These people that you can't mess with. You probably can't even hold their cleats. Half of y'all that play right now, they're dogs. And then some of the people that did make shouldn't have made it. It's a business. It's politics. Like that's what I say when I continue to say control what you can control. That's a real thing because when you get to the league, you might be the best person for that spot, talent wise, right? But there's so many tangibles that go into that. Finances. Maybe the guy in front of you just signed a $5 million signing bonus. He might not be as good as you, but their team is not going to waste $5 million just because you run a little faster, run routes a little better, catch a little better. They gonna make sure they see if that $5 million sign investment will work out. He has time to get better, no matter if you're better than him at the time. That might be unfortunate for you. You're cut, and then you might not get another opportunity ever again. You know what I mean? So it's timing. You have to understand that both the NFL, the pro life is not going to last forever. Embrace it, enjoy it as long as you can, and network, meet people, be nice, let your personality show. Let people see who you are, meet different people because you never know. You might get cut, but you might get brought back to be an assistant coach, or you might want to be a GM. You might want to do all these things. So even if you get that opportunity, maximize in all aspects, not just on the field, because you never know when it's going to end. It can end with injury. Mine, I was projected to go top 3 rounds my senior year. My first 4 or 5 games, I had 3 or 4 touchdowns, 60 plus yards. I'm leading the country in yards per catch, right from Terry, Mississippi. You feel what I'm saying? Terry High School. But in practice, before our biggest game of the year against Cincinnati on Halloween on ESPN primetime, 2 days before, I tear my ACL. My college career is over. They didn't give me a red shirt. I didn't get these 7 years, 8 years these guys get now. I got 3.5 years. I didn't get even full 4. I never redshirted. I played as soon as I got on campus. So like you got to play with the cards you're dealt, and you got to understand and not regret it, and understand that like okay, it's something out there better for me. You know what I mean? Because if I could still be playing in the league right now. But if I was still playing in the league right now, a lot of the things that I've been able to accomplish, a lot of the people's lives I've been able to touch, a lot of different avenues I've been able to go down, I wouldn't have went down because I would have had a different perspective. I would have had a different path, everything. So everything happens for a reason. However, when you're in that season, make sure you maximize that season and don't take anything for granted. Don't take this high school thing for granted. You never get it back. Don't take college for granted. You'll never get it back. You only got memories. Don't take a job that you feel like, oh, I can get this job anyway. You never get it back the same way. You never get the same people around you, the same anything. So you always want to make sure that you take advantage of it at all times.
Absolutely. And you talked about something better. That led you, with your athletic experience and your degree, to start XR Elite down there in New Orleans, where you've become, you're doing some great things as an entrepreneur there in the New Orleans area. So tell us about your business and some of the things you work on and where it came from.
Yeah. So when I was in the league, like after I got cut the first time, I was at home back in Jackson thinking like, all right, what do I really want to do? Because I always said, okay, I'm gonna go to the league, make a lot of money, and then after I get through, I'm gonna go to med school and then open my own practice. Because I was neuroscience major, pre-med. That's what I wanted to do. But then I was like, man, I started reading, studying, things like that. I was like, man, I wanna. And then people would see me work out hard all the time. They're like, oh, can I come work out with you? Can I come work out with you? So it was a natural. I'm like, yeah, come on. And then this was before training was a big deal. This was before Instagram had all their algorithms, everything. People thought training was like just a side hustle type thing. And I was like, I can make money doing this. So I just came back to New Orleans. One of my teammates, he had just came back from overseas playing pro ball. And he was starting a moving company. He was like, if you want to come help me start this company, I got some clients for you. So I came back down here. That's when I started XR Elite, helped him start his company called Moving Bid, and it just grew from there. It went from just taking the same mindset of being a collegiate and a professional athlete of doing whatever it takes to get the job done. Waking up at 4:30, 5 o'clock a.m., training people, still working out just in case I get my call, training people in the middle of the day, training people at 5 after work, training some people that have overnight shifts at 10 p.m., and then doing it all over again and not worrying about the instant gratification, but understanding I was built. It's longevity. I'm building something new, and that, like honestly, like started XR Elite in 2018 off and on because I would leave it and go sign and play somewhere, get cut, leave it, go sign and play. And like really in 2020 during COVID, when COVID hit, that's when I really like that's when I decided to retire around that area. And then I decided to indulge fully into my fitness and wellness because during that time the Arizona Cardinals called me and wanted me to come out to camp and I was just asked, I said, are you bringing me as a body or are you bringing me for an opportunity to really make the team? And they really couldn't, they was like, oh, well, you have opportunity, but we just need some. And I just didn't want to I felt like I wanted to control my narrative, you know what I mean? And that was when I knew that I was ready to walk away, sound mind, sound body from the game and be able to just help individuals get to that point if they want to, but also, teach and help them learn more about you know, the business side of football, football in general, how to get there, the mindset, the work ethic, everything like that. And now with XRL went from me just training on a field in front of Tulane with no equipment, with a couple of bands and a med ball, now to having a gym on one of the busiest streets in New Orleans, having access and having direct contact with a lot of high-level individuals that I can pick up the phone and call in, or I can, tell somebody, oh, can you look out for this person, or they're looking for this, can you do these things, being able to network and placate, the things needed to do in the city. Had worked with Nola Detox was a detox center where like just XRL is just not just training athletes. It's a diversified fitness and wellness place where we go to uh, elderly centers. We do chair yoga. We go to detox centers where we do adult PE games, workouts, sit down and I talk to them like this and tell them stories and we get real. You know what I mean? I train high school programs. I also have college athletes that come to the gym, personal training classes. So it's a diversified thing, and it's turning into even more. It's more branches to come. Like I said, I just finished a children's book a few months ago, and I have a second one
Wow.
that's coming out probably at the end of this month, or later in October. It's called XR Fitness Alphabet, the Fitness
Oh,
Alphabet
wow.
XR Lead Edition. It's for elementary school, but also it can also help anybody that doesn't understand or know like the fitness terminology, the correct things to do, come with the curriculum, and then the one that's coming out in October is called Mental Health Alphabet, the XR Lead Edition. So
Wow, that's awesome.
it's just understanding that sports is great. I love it. That's what I predicate everything on. Understanding how you can influence your community, influence yourself, influence your family, just by the makeup and the characteristics and the tangibles that you can gain from athletics.
Absolutely. And And it's just even if you're not an athlete and you just you want to start a business, it's all about finding your market, finding what you're passionate about, and finding a way that it can serve the community. Obviously, you want to make money, but if you can find a way to give something that people will really use and put your heart into it, people see that passion, and it's amazing how often you can be successful. Now,
Thanks.
before I get to the students' questions, I did want to talk about, like I said, right here with me, live with me now, I have all young men. This class is an anomaly that it's all men in this class. So I try to get a lot of men to speak, and we need. I won't tell your age. You're not as old as me, but we need um, more young men to step up and be leaders in our community.
Facts.
We need more young black men to step up and be leaders in our community. Um, you know, in the last few years, black women have gone and become the most educated portion of society and are starting businesses all over the place. There's no reason black men cannot do the same thing and be just as big of leaders and have just as big an impact on our community. So why should these young men right now, while they're in high school, start changing their mindset or keeping that mindset of being successful and being a part of a big solution that desperately needs it?
All right. Well, I want all y'all young men to listen to me. The society and how it's built is built to hold you as a young black man back and down from the things they put on TV to the music that is played and pushed out to all these things that can influence certain decisions, right? The reason they do that because you're very powerful beings. You all are kings. And you have to understand that. You all have influence that is greater than you understand and you know. Not just with each other, but with people around you, the youth and the elderly. The reason you all need to change that mindset and be great is because you are the future leaders. People look up to you. You are the change for the betterment from the systematic approach, for the social approach, and for the financial approach. You want to be able to educate yourself in all realms and aspects. You're never too young to understand finances. You're never too young to understand your true history of where you come from or where we come from or anything like that. You're never too young to enhance your mindset on eating, on health, on fitness. There's so many things that's out there, and you don't have to wait for anybody to tell you what this is or what that is. You as black men, or we as black men, need to research and read more for ourselves because a lot of things we are told definitely in the mainstream media is not all facts and it's not all things best for us. So what I would say is every time you get a chance, look up something that you're passionate about. If it's food, if you're a chef, if it's food, if you're a fitness, if it's workouts, if you're a nutrition, if it's how to eat, what to eat, things like that. Look at something to expand your repertoire and your mind and the betterment because yes, black women have had a great jump in the recent years in businesses, education wise, things like that. And they also have a lot of more resources that are given government wise to them. But that doesn't mean anything. What that means is now let them let their accomplishment and raise fuel you. You remember what I said earlier? If I have a friend or a colleague that makes a 97, why can't I make a 99? If I have a colleague that's a black female that just where I got a friend she's her net worth is 700 million, right? My net worth is not that, but am I mad at it? No, but that gives me energy knowing that I can do that. Now, let me talk to her. How did you do that? How did you go about that? Don't be afraid to ask. Don't be afraid to, it's not hating or swagger jacking and none of that. You want to know how somebody else got there so you can implement it to your repertoire. For example, so I know Devontae Adams, I know Tyreek Hill, I know all of them, right? When I used to train with him, I know I'm not as fast as Tyreek, but I can take some of the things he do and put it to my game that I can do. right? I might be faster than Tay, but Tay might be a little quicker than me. All right, let me take some of his moves off the line and start practicing. That's not me hating or being, oh, he taking my stuff. No, that's how you get better. Let me take a piece. You're building your toolbox. So if I can build my receiver toolbox like that, why can't I build my business toolbox? Why can't I build my educational toolbox?
Absolutely.
Why can't I build
Absolutely.
all the so for me to say all that, I want you to build your mental and educational toolbox in all aspects of life, from finances to education to wellness to nutrition to fitness. Once you all dive into certain things and you start to see really the stuff that's out there that's beneficial for you or how you can enhance, is really is the sky's the limit. It's not that hard to be successful once you realize a lot of those things. And before they ask questions, there's one thing I want to leave you with that I live by. It's called work on your golf game, right? So, do any of y'all watch golf? At all? If you do, y'all, I know y'all know who Tiger Woods is, right?
Three of them raised their hand.
All right, cool. So, if you ever watch golf, even for 10 minutes, you never see Tiger Woods, Phil Nicholson, all of those. You never see them talking junk to each other. You never see them, oh, you can't hit a draw, you suck, like any other sports. You never see it because golf is a sport like life. You know your strengths and you know your weaknesses. Nobody outside entity can really mess with it, but you know how to get better. So if you know your drive is not as good as it need to be, you can go out there and work on your drive. If you know your short game is not as good as it need to be, you can go out there and work on your short game. That other person working on a mid game, your mid game is great, doesn't affect you. You feel what I'm saying? So that means whatever I need to do to be the best person, business business person, son, student, whatever it needs to be, I need to do that for me. It doesn't matter if this person over here doing 25 backflips, a split, whatever. That's not affecting what I have going on. You want to have those blinders on. You want to focus on your own golf game because that other man's golf game doesn't affect yours. Because I'm a trainer down here. Training, they can say is very competitive, right? But if you ever look at my social media, I shout out other trainers, I shout out other gyms, I shout out all kinds of stuff. People ask me why. I worked hard in my craft and understand I'm confident in what I give off. But I also understand that I can't train everybody. And if this person is not, if this this client is not fit for me, why not give them an opportunity to go to somebody else that might be better fitted for them? Because me working on my golf game and being confident in what I give off, what's for you is for you, like I said earlier. So now everything ties in together. So that's one thing I would say, definitely work on your golf game.
Absolutely. Well, I do have some questions. I'm gonna get to as many of these as I can. This first one is Herbert Carmichael. He's in 10th grade. He's interested in getting into the IT field, but he asked,
Okay.
what are some ways that I could manage grades and hobbies as a student?
Scheduling, being intentional. You know what I mean? Understanding that grades come first because you have to obtain a certain uh, educational GPA to get where you want to go, right? So boom, that comes first, but then also it's a balance. It's a social balance as well. So understanding, okay, I gotta go study first, do this, and then let me put this, and then be intentional. Put this many hours or this much time into my hobby, because that hobby can also make you fun. You feel what I'm saying? So you have to be intentional. Don't like if you know that's something you want to do, don't let anything else distract you from doing it. If you get out of school at 3:30 and you get home at 4 o'clock, from 4 to 5:30, all right, this is my homework time and study time. I'm gonna get my homework done. I'm gonna study. If I need to do a little bit more study, I'm gonna study. And then after that, I'm dedicating another hour and a half to my hobby. And like be strict to it. If your friends call, oh, let's go to this party. Oh, you want to go to the store? Oh, the game. Oh, you want to go watch the game? Well, I can go watch the game after 7. You know what I mean? If that hour and a half of your hobby is done, because now you're being intentional with your time, and you're being intentional with your hobby, and you're being intentional with your grades.
Absolutely. This is Edward Flowers. He's also in 10th grade. He's a member of our band. And he asked, you mentioned about you controlling things that you can control. When things are out of control, how do you take back control of them?
When they're out of control, okay, ask them this: when they're out of control of your controllables, or when you're out of control of things you can't control.
He asked when things are out of your ask that again.
Are the uncontrollable when it's out of control, is it the things that you can control that you can control, or is it things that you can't control?
Can't control.
You can't worry about it. You can't worry because, for example, my coach told me this when I was with the Eagles. I was having great OTAs. I went from receiver 16 to receiver 6 in that OTA period.
Wow.
I came back, had a couple rookie camp. We came back early. I had a good rookie camp. Then the reps got cut because I wasn't no starter or anything. So you only get about 5 reps in practice. And I started prep. I said, okay, I see Jordan Matthews. He might not be doing crazy, but he get 40 reps. He's scoring 2 touchdowns. I'm like, oh, when I get out there, I gotta do it, but I can't control my reps, right? I can't control how many reps I get, or I can't even control the plays. All I can control is when they give me the play, I can control the job I can do. I started being frustrated on what I couldn't control. And then when like 2 practices in a row, I didn't have a great practice. Maybe I missed an assignment, or I was short on a route, or a difficult catch. I was coming down with the OTAs in the rookie camp. I wasn't because my mind wasn't in where it needed to be because I'm too worried about the outside entities that I can't control. So my coach said, control what you can control. So if they only play you 5 plays, you can't control you getting more than 5 plays, but you can control these 5 plays. If they give you 4 runs out of those 5 plays, what you can control is being in the right, lining up right, being in the right spot at the right time, blocking who you gotta block, and making sure your man is not in the play. That's what you can control. If they throw the ball to you, make sure you're in the right spot at the right time, and if it's catchable, catch it. That's the controls. Everything else, I can't help if he gets sacked. I can't help if he fumbled. I can't help if he overthrows. I only can control what I can control at that moment in time. So when everything around you is you feel like it's chaotic because you can't control it, sit down and think about what can I do to make sure that I'm where I need to be. You feel what I'm saying? Because once you're where you need to be and you're doing everything you need to do correctly, it's going to fall in place. Is anytime something has never fell in place for me, it's because I was worried about everything else and not and I was not controlling what I could control. What I could control was chaotic as well because I'm trying to control what I can't. Once I hone in, everything else falls into place.
Absolutely. And I agree 100% on that. Well, we're almost out of time, and we thank you so much for taking some time for us. Just such an amazing thing you have done and are doing. But before we go, tell us your website, xr-elite.co.
Yep, xr-elite.co. You all can follow me at underscore XR Elite on X and also Instagram, and then TikTok. If y'all have TikTok, XR Elite as well. Get on there a little bit, not as much as I should, but and if y'all ever have any questions, follow me. Y'all can DM me. I'm usually pretty good at responding. Let me know that you heard me speak with y'all class here, and I'm pretty much an open book. And then we also, me and a colleague of mine who went to Tougaloo University, she's down here. She's a lawyer. We're starting a podcast, which will be next week. We record our first episode. It's called GRAS, GRAS, like Mardi Gras, and it's game playing right after sports. So the
Oh, wow.
whole concept is talking to individuals, young men and women you all's age and college and even pros that feel like and don't think about it, sports not gonna last forever. And understanding that we have a lot of colleagues and we went through it where we have that gap of after sports is over, what do we do? Like, and we're here to let you know that you already have the tangible characteristics and the tangible things to go out and immediately be successful as an entrepreneur, as an employee, as anything you really want to, because one thing about most athletes, you have structure, you have discipline, you have understanding, you have hard work ethic, and you understand that you can get up early, you can make things happen, all those things. So if you make it to a certain pinnacle of athletics, then those tangible characteristics are instilled in you, and you have to figure it out and know that. So we're gonna have a lot of guests on there, are entrepreneurs and are business people that are have been professionals that are very successful in their realm of life right now. So that's something that we'll be dropping this month, once a month for now, and see how fill it out and then go from there. So you'll be on the lookout for that.
Awesome. Well, again, we thank you so much for joining us. Xavier Rush, all the way from New Orleans, Louisiana, native of Terry High. Thank you so much. Or alum of Terry High. I'm tired. Alum of Terry High. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, and y'all be elite.
All right, thanks, buddy.